Welcome to Save US Taxes Legally. I'm going to start off with three simple questions. In the chat, please put either yes or no, just a Y or N. First question, do you want to leave a legacy for future generations? In chat, please put Y or no. Question number two, do you want all lawsuits to become frivolous and go away? In chat, please put yes or no. And the third question, do you want to save taxes year after year, generation after generation? Again in chat, please put yes or no. Hi, my name is Sally Gimmon, and I'm the owner of www.thetrustisyou.com. I want to teach as many US investors, US business owners, US entrepreneurs, US franchisee owners, and US 1099 income earners how they can save taxes legally. Imagine saving 4, 5, 6 figures in taxes every single year you'll never have to pay back. You could put this back into your business. You could pay off your mortgage. You could buy a new vehicle. You could take your family on a well-deserved vacation. You can give it to your favorite charity or save for retirement. Imagine nobody knows what you own, where you own it, how much you own, what you do with it, and how much you sell it for. Imagine all lawsuits, I can't stop you from being sued, but all lawsuits become frivolous and go away. How much time, money, anxiety, worry just disappear. This is the power of the trust. I believe every US investor, US business owner, US franchisee owner, and US 1099 income earner needs to know this information. It's not taught in school. I believe since I spent 5 months researching this and now get to save taxes, it's my duty and my honor to teach it to others. I also believe that the playing field must be level for everyone. The Amazons of the world get free land on Staten Island. My brother's brewery lost their lease because the rents went too high. It's not fair. Now, let me share my screen. With the trust, you are going to save taxes legally. You're going to leave a legacy for future generations because this goes from generation to generation. Uh, you're going to have complete privacy, and all lawsuits become frivolous. Again, I can't stop you from being sued, but you don't have to pay it. It's the most amazing thing. Okay, next page. Da, 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 da. Now, most people have never, death and taxes, taboo subjects. Most people are unaware there's 7 layers to taxes. Cheapest tax is 10%, all the way up to 37%, and there's 4 ways to file. On January 1st, 2025, the most expensive way to file was single. They took married filing separately and mashed the single all the way down to the 37%. That's when it's cheaper. If you get nothing else from this presentation, if you're currently married and you're filing separately, please start filing jointly. I just talked to a potential customer where we're going to save them $4,900 changing from filing married separately to married filing jointly. People are not aware of this. The more money you make, the more money you pay in taxes. My next page. Now, I want you to Google this as much as you can. The IRS, it's an IRS tax code 643B. The law firm I work on behalf of was started by Paul Benson, a Harvard law professor, 77 years ago. He purposely wrote 5 trusts, and we're going to talk about 2 of them here today, to save specific taxes. You're not tax-free, you're saving very specific taxes. In 77 years, unfortunately, Paul Benson has passed away. Now his grandson and great-grandson run the law firm. In 77 years, not a single trust has ever been audited, and they're so confident in what they do. If you use the CPA we introduce you to file the 1041 tax return, yes, it's a 1041 tax return, not a 1040, and everything's in order. If you get questioned by the IRS, they will defend you free of charge. In 77 years, it's happened once. This was several years ago. A senior IRS agent went down to Houston where the law firm is, spent 5 hours in the boardroom going over a business trust. He approved it. 2 weeks later, he sent an unsolicited letter back to the law firm saying this is how he approved it. You want a copy of that letter, please send me an email. I'm here to help you. So the IRS actually wrote a letter, an opinion letter, dated September 11th, 2018, where they specifically said they do not like IRS Tax Code 643B, and they do not like the Irrevocable, Complex, Discretionary, Non-Grantor, Spendthrift Trust. It's their opinion. My opinion, don't ever give me lima beans. I hate them. Now, from this opinion letter, there have been 5 memorandums, all saying the IRS doesn't like the tax code. That's okay. The IRS can like or dislike whatever they like. Only Congress can change the tax code. Our current president's father started this trust in 1972. If you remember when Trump debated Hillary Clinton about 8 years ago, and she said he doesn't pay taxes, and he said he was smart, it's because he has this trust. Too many presidents, too many senators, too many congresspeople, and too many of their donors and super PACs know about the trust, and that's why they will not change this. Again, I don't have a crystal ball, but the only thing that's happening are taxes going up. Now, the 5 elements to the trust. Let's go over these. Irrevocable. This means it goes from generation to generation to generation. The Rockefellers Spendthrift Trust is called the Office. It's 7 generations old and has over 400 people under the same EIN number. Each different family files a different 1041 tax return, but they all get to save taxes. People have questioned me, is it easy to get things in and out of the trust? Personally, I have wholesale 28 properties through my trust. When I go to the courthouses here in North Carolina, do upset bids, I sign my name, Sally Gimmon, TTE, trustee of the trust. That means it's in the trust. Easiest thing to do. Next element, complex. This trust can hold money from day to day, week to week, month to month, year to year, decade to decade, century to century. 97% of the trusts sold in the United States are what my mom and dad had and what Susie Orman talks about on PBS television, the family trust or the living trust. There's nothing wrong with the family trust or the living trust. It's designed to avoid probate and then dissolve and go away. This is not your mom and dad's trust. This is what the Rockefellers, the DuPonts, the Carnegies, the Kennedys, the Trumps all have. You save taxes year after year, generation after generation. Discretionary. Whoever is the trustee or trustees can make the rules for the beneficiaries while they're alive and also from the grave. There's no infighting. There's no contesting the will in court. None of that. One of my clients, a husband and wife who have 4 apartment buildings in Los Angeles, allow their adult daughter to live in the apartments, and they're requiring her to do 4 random drug tests per month to stay there. She actually sued her mom and dad in federal court. The judge read over the trust, and the judge told her she has 2 options. Option A, pass the drug test, stay living rent-free. Option B, move out and start paying her own rent. I do not want to be invited to their Thanksgiving dinner. Non-Grantor. This makes the trust completely private. When you start this trust, you're going to have someone who's never going to be a trustee, someone who's never going to be a beneficiary, sign up to be the grantor or the settler. It is not a speed bump, but you do need their social security number. I just talked to a potential client earlier today where I'm going to be his grantor. I'm going to sign up for the trust, and then I'm going to sign myself away from the trust. It makes it completely private. I won't know what he's doing. I won't know where his accounts are or anything else. And then finally, Spendthrift. This has been in front of the United States Supreme Court on 2 separate occasions, and it's won both times. You can't get more legal than this. Again, it comes from England, way back when King Henry VIII started the Church of England. The same king who chopped off several of his wives' heads started the church so he can divorce them, murder a few ladies, start a church. He went to go tax the lords and ladies of England. They went further back to the Magna Carta in the 13th century and said, oh, no, King Henry VIII, you can't do this. It's contract law, that came to the colonies while we were still part of England. That's how the law firm inherited a trust that turned 350 years old in 2023. When you start the trust, you're going to have the contract between the law firm and you to save the taxes. Nobody can break that. Now, we're going to go over two trusts here today. The first one is the business trust. This is for U.S. business owners, entrepreneurs, franchisee owners, and 1099 income earners. I cannot help W-2 income earners. Unfortunately, W-2 income earners get their taxes taken out before they see their paycheck. FICA, Social Security, state income, federal taxes, everything else. This is a true story. His name is Greg. He contacted me January 3rd of 2025. He was in the military, and now he's does military sales. And in 2024, he made $150,000 and has no idea where it went. He's single, lives in an apartment with 2 roommates, and drives a 10-year-old car. When we were on Zoom, if he makes $150,000 in 2025, at 90%, he'll save $25,962. And then on top of that, Virginia state income taxes of $8,625. He'll never have to pay back. Or per month, it's $2,908, I think. I can't do the math on the $34,587 saved, but he's not going to have to pay that per month. His goal is he's going to save up for 3 years and then buy a house in Northern Virginia, because he wants to get out of the roommate situation. I work with all kinds of businesses. I have independent truck drivers. I have Amazon store owners. I have dentists. I have chiropractors. I have a gentleman I just talked to, a printing company. I have landscaping companies. I have doctors. I have anesthesiologists. Anyone making at least $100,000 gross will save 5 figures in taxes. There's 43 states with state income taxes that you will also save. The 7 states without state income taxes, you just save the federal taxes. That's the business trust. My personal story. I became a real estate investor when my mom got sick in 2018. They lived in Goodyear, Arizona. They drove from Goodyear, Arizona to Charlotte, North Carolina for a wedding. My mom got sick along the way. She got septic of the blood. She was on the ventilator for 13 months, in the hospital for 15 months. Thank God she got better and came home. But my dad stayed with her the entire time. I flew out for the wedding, saw my mom, walked in on, the priest was giving her last rites, and I went back to Phoenix, and I was going out to their house once a week to do the mail. Her first month's Medicare statement, being in an emergency room and being on a ventilator for 30 days, cost $72,000. I wasn't concerned. My dad was a retired military officer. He had TRICARE for life. I'm standing in their kitchen. I have 2 car loans because my 3-week-old car driving to work to be at work at 7 o'clock in the morning on Indian School Road in Phoenix. I'm the second car through on a green light. Some idiot runs a red light, T-bones me, and has no insurance and tolls my car. I have a mortgage. I have student loans because I went to graduate school. I have credit card debt, and I hate my job. Right then and there in my mom and dad's kitchen, I called my friend Glenn, who invited me to a real estate meeting back in August of 2018. And he's like, Sally, next Saturday, we're having a Christmas potluck dinner. Bring a $5 gift and some food and meet my fellow real estate investors. Best decision of my life. In 2019, with my mentor, Jay Tannenbaum, I wholesaled 7 properties nationwide, bank-owned properties nationwide, paid off $184,000 in debt, completely debt-free, and had $50,000 in my bank account for capital gains. Well, then COVID struck around St. Patrick's Day, March 17th. On April 4th, 2024, my CPA called me to say I'm single, that my tax bracket went from 22% to 24%. And I owed the federal government $94,000 in short-term capital gains. Again, I only had $50,000 saved. My solution, take a HELOC off of my paid-off house, defeats the purpose of being paid off, I paid my bill, and I purposely bought this bank-owned reverse mortgage in July of 2020 for $20,000. I knew it was going to go auction for $50,000. That $30,000 spread in between would at 24% would be $7,100. When it finally went to auction, August 28th of 2021, without lifting a hammer, I made $44,326. Woohoo! This is the way I like to invest. More importantly, at 24%, I got to save $10,368 in short-term capital gains I'll never have to pay back. I use that money for more real estate. I'm not trying to say, I'm just trying to show you how it's used. Now this chart is for the beneficial trust. You're going to save the following 5 taxes year after year, generation after generation. Short-term capital gains are a year or less, are taxed just like federal income taxes. So if you're selling crypto, you're a forex investor, you're wholesaling, fix and flipping, auction houses, or tax liens. Interest income taxes are if you're a passive investor, you're in mutual funds, you're in a REIT, you're doing subject to real estate, you're doing the BRRRR strategy. I personally have notes where I'm the paper on the house, people pay me their mortgage. You're doing creative financing, seller financing, or forex investing. Yes, forex investors, you get taxed twice. You can save both capital gains and interest income taxes. It's well worth you having this trust. Dividend income taxes. If you're in the stock market, you're a day trader, you're an options trader, you're a futures trader, you're a commodities trader, you're living off of dividends. Again, you could be saving so much money in taxes. Rental income taxes. If you have short-term rentals like Airbnb, vacation rentals, 3 doors, 5 doors, 10 doors, 20 doors, 100 doors. Maybe you're in multifamily, apartment buildings, commercial property, or doing Airbnb arbitrage. You can move property with a depreciation schedule into the trust. You can move a property on a cost averaging into the trust. Because remember, all lawsuits become frivolous. If the renter's dog gets out and bites the mailman cannot come after the owner. He can only go after the renter. The one tax that's not on here is royalty income taxes. The tax a little bit less, between 10% to 35%. It affects you if you're an actor, an actress, a musician, an author, an artist. You're in the NFT world. You have copyrights, patents, or intellectual property. You will continue to save taxes. This is just an example. If you make $50,000 in profit, depending on what tax bracket you're at, how much you'll be able to save year after year, generation after generation. When I wholesaled 7 bank-owned properties nationwide in 2019, I had made more than $50,000. But that's just to give you an idea on this. This next page is long-term capital gains. They're a year or more and are either 15% or 20% and affect you when you sell your business, sell an investment property, or a baseball card. This is a true story. Son saw a TikTok video, contacted me. His parents were selling a Kentucky restaurant as is for $3 million, April 30th, 2023. We got his father, Jim, on Zoom, never been on Zoom before, and I explained to him that capital gains at 15% on $3 million would be $450,000, or at 20% would be $600,000. Jim says, I'm working with a business broker, Sam, can you contact him? Contacted Sam. Sam's like, I'm going to make $30,000 off this trust, off this sale. I need the business trust. He started the business trust. I told Sam about my affiliate program. Sam tells Michael, the gentleman buying this restaurant, it's going to be his 7th restaurant in 3 states, about the trust. And Michael buys a trust, and Sam got paid an extra $1,000. Now, Sam and I have done quite a few businesses together. If you would like to set up a 30-minute tax breakthrough session with me, it's www.thetrustisyou.com/scheduling. I have a free class on the Great Discovery. You're going to get a presentation similar to this. You're going to get 3 articles from Forbes magazine. I did not write. That's what Forbes wrote about the trust. You're going to get 2 pages of case law so you can research this to your heart's content, and examples of clients saving thousands of dollars. Again, I just want to say thank you for taking the time to watch my video to learn about the trust. This is not taught in schools. Everyone making at least $100,000 a year, you will save 5 figures in taxes year after year, generation after generation. I hope you have a beautiful 4th of July weekend. Take care.